So if you've been following along, lots going on here around the farm. And this weekend is no different than any other weekend.
Yep. It's an exciting day. We are working on our blueberry beds, but we got a delivery of mulch. And so we'll show some footage of that and how that went. And we'll be starting to till the mulch into the blueberry beds, which is exciting. We're finally moving even more.
We'll start mixing the mulch in. We have a spreadsheet that shows us how much we need to put in each row.
Yeah.
So, lots of tractoring to do.
Yes.
With that, you'll be seeing our big tractor coming out of the barn finally. As with everything around here, my torment in life is tires.
Tough to laugh, really, through the pain.
Yeah. So I had a flat tire, and then I caused another flat tire today.
Yes.
Right, just a few minutes ago. I'm a little frustrated with tires at the moment, and they're very expensive. So
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot happening in this video. We'll kind of be bouncing around, mostly related to the blueberries. We'll give you an update on what's going on in the clearing project out back. More of an update on the barn build.
Yep.
And now that might do it for this video. I think that's, unless, you know, our plans change, because that's kind of how things go around here.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
All right, so stay tuned. Inside the truck. Now you can see how this works. The floor actually slides back and forth, and then it moves you forward. It's pretty neat. It uses the weight of the load and the friction to actually move it forward. And then slowly these slats just push it right off the end into the pile.
Good morning. Another day of tilling. Let's get started. Oh, I tell you what, getting in the tractor with a belly is getting increasingly difficult. All right, let's start her up. So refreshing having machinery start first time. I feel like we don't often have that experience here these days, but let's go ahead and get to the tilling. Not going that way today. If you saw last video, I wanted to come up that side of the property, but there are giant holes over there, and so I almost got stuck. But I immediately felt better because apparently Joe also almost got stuck. So, going on this side. I think I might have mentioned before, maybe not, but I did not grow up on a farm or anything close to a farm. So this all is very new to me. And something I've quickly gotten used to is, you know, driving around in a tractor, and we have Big Blue, the Silverado. I feel like I can just kind of run over anything, and I don't care if branches are hitting me. So I have to kind of remind myself what vehicle I'm in when I drive my like normal everyday car. Be like, oh right, I can't just run over whatever I want. That is something I've quickly gotten used to. Alright, so we're coming up to where I left off. We only have, I think, like 8 or so rows left, so that's exciting. Alright, let's get set up. This is the difficult part. This, it is quite overgrown, and you probably can't see it on the camera, and I can't see it in real life. I do not see where the next flag is. I see a couple over there, but I might have to get out and go check that I'm looking at the right flag. Don't really want to mess up the rows just because I can't see the flag, so let's go do that. See, it's just pretty overgrown over here. Joe, last time we were out here, he was mowing in between all the rows, which was very helpful. But out here, it's still pretty overgrown. And here is, you can see the orange. Here is the flag. So there was no way I was gonna see that. Try to pop this out a little bit. Must have gotten run over or something. Let's see if that helped. That worked. I can see the flag, so hopefully I don't mess up this row. And let's get the tiller set up. Gotta put this, and let's lower it. And go ahead and turn it on. There we go.
All right, so I thought maybe we could fly the drone a little bit today. It's starting to get windy, so hopefully it's not too windy to fly the drone. But fly the drone, show you what's, the progress we're making here in the blueberry area. See how this goes.
Take off.
All right. Almost hit myself in the face, but that worked. All right, going up. All right, so this should give you a better perspective. You can see all the rows going all the way down the field. They're actually looking pretty straight, so that's awesome. And here's Liz. She's working on the current row.
tilling was going very well until the tractor stopped. I went around to the back and looks like there's a very large branch of some kind stuck in the tiller. You can see it's all snarled up there.
It is. It's in there.
Yeah. I tried to use another stick to get it out. It was not having it.
Let's see what I can do with the hammer.
Hold it. Oh, there we go.
That is a stump.
A whole stump.
Yep.
I guess that's why I didn't want to run.
Let that down.
Yeah. Oh.
It'll go down.
Okay.
Somehow.
Okay.
It'll go down.
Yeah, that's a whole stump.
That is a whole stump you ripped out of the ground.
Apparently. And actually, I had gotten out of the tractor to clear some big branches out of the way, but I missed the whole stump apparently.
There you go.
Okay, back to it.
Get back to work.
All right, I'm about to do the last row, or what would have been the last row, except for when we counted up how many blueberry beds we have, it's 43. And Joe cannot really handle the fact that it's an odd number and it's a prime number, so we're gonna have to do one more. But we've only marked out 43, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this last blueberry bed row, and then we have to measure out one more, and we haven't done that yet, so this is the last row for right now. All right, here we go. Last pass over the, well, kind of last row until we get the next one measured out. Okay, well, the last row is done for today. I'm really excited actually. It feels so good actually seeing real tangible progress. Like you can see Joe's out there, that very small thing right there. Looks like he's pouring out the mulch, and then I'll have to go over with the tiller to get it incorporated into the soil. But it's exciting to see real progress. I know we have like 1,000 projects going on at once generally. You know, the attic is still not cleaned out. We just kind of have constant chores. You know, the house is gonna be a long-term project. I feel like we have a lot of long-term projects. The barn is gonna be pretty short-term. This is gonna be pretty short-term because we have to get the blueberries in the ground so they can start growing and be ready in a few years to harvest. But I don't know, it just feels good to make real progress and seeing something really get done. So it feels good.
Send the drone out back and check in on our daughter and see what she's up to. All right, this tractor is up and running. Unfortunately for me, this one doesn't have air conditioning. It does have a blower, so at least I'll blow the air around. And I have the windows open. It's fairly mild today. It's like 72, and the sun's not beating down, so it won't get too hot in here. But I was able to get that stump out of the tiller for Liz. She's going back. She's got quite a few rows left to still till, and I am gonna start working on the mulch and getting that done. So here we go. All right, here's the first scoop. I'm trying not to spill too much of it. This stuff is extremely expensive, and we need every bit of it. I don't exactly know how much this tractor bucket holds. I'm gonna say around a yard, and we have 160 yards here. In total, we're gonna do 600 yards. So it's a lot of tractor loads. The first row is gonna be real easy because we'll be able to pull up. You'll see, we're gonna pull up and dump it right on the row. After that, it's gonna get much more complicated, but we'll see how it goes. All right, that's going fairly well so far. Some of my best days. I love being in the tractor. I haven't been in the tractor in a long time, so doing tractor work makes me happy. Just about got the one row done, and you know, 40 some odd rows to go after that, and another 585 trips or something like that. Again, the first row is the easiest because I can pull up perpendicular to it and just drop it straight on. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do the other rows yet. I fear that I'm going to have to do a half a bucket at a time so that I can drop it that it is wide as the row, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to get back up in the tractor and get her done. We rarely ever have enough time to get everything done around here, so I'm going to get to it when we can get to it. All right, that's what it looks like. My wife did an amazing job of making straight rows, and I did an amazing job of somehow making her rows look crooked. Not sure how that happened, but that's what we're going for. We're going to come back through and till all this in, so it'll mix in with the native soil, and we'll have soil and the mulch together. Smells like pine trees out here right now. But yeah, it's about a foot deep. That's what we were going for, or at least that's how much mulch we bought, was to put it a foot deep. And it'll get those blueberries up out of the ground. It'll give them the soil pH they need. Get them up out of the ground so that, you know, they like a lot of water, but they don't like to be standing in water. So that, I think they say about every plant. Oh, it likes a lot of water, but it doesn't like wet feet. So this should drain off really nice. Plus we have the slope. And again, they'll be elevated up out of the ground, so they won't be sitting down in the water. They'll get watered, and that water will drain off away. That's the theory anyway. We really don't know what we're doing, just kind of winging it. I don't know if we've explained before or not, but you know, Liz and I have full-time jobs during the week, more than full-time jobs really. So we're weekend warriors, and it makes it really tough because we have about a day and a half and generally a little bit of time after work sometimes to get this all done. And it's a lot to cram into every weekend. There's a lot of competing priorities on the weekends, but this is, you know, it's our lifelong goal is to get this up and running, and we got to put in the time now, which is a lot. But once we get this put in, then, you know, it's a bit of a waiting game for 4 years. There's going to be maintenance to do in between, pruning and things like that, and putting in the irrigation system. But I like to think, and we like to think, that this is the tough part, and it'll get easier from here. I don't know if life ever gets easier, but we're gonna give it a try. How was your day in the tractor?
It was good. How was your day in the tractor?
You know,
not good?
No. I mean, it's just a lot of commute time for me.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, so, I mean, in total, I probably did 2 rows, which is crazy.
It's a lot of mulch.
But it's a lot of driving as well. And if anyone thinks farming is easy, it's not. Even if you're tractoring all day, it still wears you out.
It does.
Being in a tractor all day.
I was getting tired out there, and I was like, it's surprising.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, well, you got to be pretty close to being done, right?
I am.
Oh, you're completely done?
Yeah, well, except for the 1 row.
The 1 extra row we're going to add on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's great.
Yeah, well done.
That's great. It's too bad this one doesn't have a bucket.
I know. That would be nice.
It would be nice, but it does not.
Yeah. And then we have the skid steer that has a bucket, but that's in use.
That's in use right now. Yeah. Anyway, I'm tired.
Same.
Yeah, I'm ready to go get some dinner, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
This is what I'm talking about with tires around here. That's a stick.
Just
this
embedded
is a tractor tire. And it's like, look at that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it went in the tread part,
yes.
And that's very thick, so it's not going to cause anything to go flat. But even sticks, I mean, it's just tires and me. We just don't get along. No. Okay. One of the other things we're doing this morning is we're going to try tilling in the mulch that I was able to get down. Now, I really only got 2 rows done. It's just a lot of commute time, so it's going to take forever to move 600 yards of mulch. But we were able to get this row and that row. Well, that row is not completely done, but this row done. And I just want to see what it looks like once it's tilled in. I think we're going to come back and top dress it with some compost and till that in later too. We don't have the compost right now. We'll have to order some. But we're going to see how this goes and see what it looks like afterwards. I'm not sure it's going to be able to till deep enough to actually get the soil underneath, but we'll see. So I think that actually worked out really well.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely tilled in the native soil underneath.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for sure. And so we got a good mixture of the pine bark mulch and the soil.
Oh, that's good.
And look, it actually looks like something.
It does.
It almost looks like we know what we're doing, even though we have no clue.
It almost looks like we could plant something here.
Almost, yeah. So I think it worked out really well.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Nice. Only 40 some odd rows to go.
Yep.
And 580 more yards of mulch.
That's it.
Just drop in the bucket.
Yeah, it's not too much.
Not too much, so like 580 trips with the tractor.
Right. Yep, one at a time.
One at a time. Yep. But this worked out really well. It's really the only row that was finished, so right. Liz is gonna hop in the other tractor and she's gonna start moving mulch. I gotta get back trying to fix the truck.
Yep.
And that's gonna be our day probably.
Probably.
Yep. Yep, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So
Sounds good.
We'll show it to you at the end and see what kind of progress we've made.
I apologize for the generator noise in the background. I alluded to this yesterday, tire woes. And you can see, not a good day for tires around here. The worst part is, just had those tires put on the truck like a week and a half ago. So they have like 700 miles on them, maybe. And I hit a cinder block and tore like a 5-inch long gash in the sidewall, which isn't great. Obviously not repairable. Thankfully I have a spare because I did get all 5 tires replaced. I tend to do that. And so that's this morning's chore, is to get that spare put back on there and then unfortunately buy another tire. All right, now you can see the damage I did. Look at that. That big old hole. Ripped right in the side of that tire. Yeah. There's $400 down the drain. That's kind of how it goes around here sometimes. All right, now that I've wasted lots of time and money, get back to doing the things around here that actually need to get done. If you get your tires changed, you really do yourself a favor. Change all 5 if you still have a spare. I know a lot of cars don't come with spares anymore, but if they do come with a full-size spare, or even if it's a donut and it hasn't been changed in a really long time, they do break down and fall apart. So you don't want to be on the side of the road if you're able to do it yourself without having that extra tire and knowing it's really good. So I know it's an expense, but it makes a lot of sense to change all 5 tires, even though cars only have 4. But that 5th tire is really going to save you in the long run. It saved us today. We need this truck up and running, and it'll be at least a week because the tire has to be ordered. No one carries it in stock, and then get it replaced. So maybe a week and a half. So anyway, get 5 tires. It definitely makes a lot of sense in the long run.
All right, hopefully it's not too loud in here. The tractor is pretty loud, but today my task before lunch, and probably for the rest of today actually, is going to be getting mulch in the big tractor and putting them out on the blueberry bed rows to just get the mulch laid down so that as we keep getting shipments, we're making progress with the pile, and we're just going to mulch every single blueberry bed row. I haven't driven this tractor in a while, and I also haven't operated the bucket really much. Joe just taught me 5 minutes ago, so we'll see how it goes. So I'll film it. You can see how I do with operating the bucket on this tractor. But let's get to mulching. Okay, I didn't really film while I was getting the mulch because it was my first time doing it and I didn't want to be distracted by holding the camera. But I got the mulch, I brought it down here, and you can see I dumped that last little bit at the end of that furthest row, and then I dumped a little bit here. So I feel like that went okay. So let's keep going. Alright. Now that I have the hang of this, I feel like I can actually film some of this footage of me dumping the mulch. I'm so comfortable that I can put on my earbuds. Because it's a pretty, I won't say mindless because I feel like it requires a lot of focus, but one of those tasks with music makes it feel a little less tedious, I guess. But alright, so I've completely finished one row by myself. So we're gonna start the next one. We only have like 41 to go. So alright, here we are. It's really an estimation game. I kind of just go by the size of the other mounds of mulch that we have going on, and it generally equates to about half. You can kind of look down the row and see they're not uniform by any means at all, but they're not too different from each other. So about half a bucket per pile. Alright, so we back up. Are we on?
Oh, we're on.
Okay, well, it's been another productive couple days. Felt good.
Yeah, it did.
It was really exciting getting the mulch and to finishing tilling. But I'm excited that we're starting to actually get the mulch down on the ground. We already tilled one of them in, which you saw obviously, but it really worked out. And I think it's a little bit slower than we expected. All the commuting back and forth with the tractor, but
Definitely the mulching
yeah,
is going to take a very long time.
yes,
Yep. At some point we'll have to stop because we got to tear the barn down. But
right.
they're starting to actually look like rows of dirt, I guess. I mean, they look like something,
They
which
do.
is great.
It's starting to really look like we might actually have a farm one day.
Maybe it could happen. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, but it felt really good.
Yep.
But I think we're going to wrap it up for today.
Yeah, it's hot. We're
It is
sweaty and we need to clean up.
Yeah.
So life's an adventure.
Let's keep it that way.